Welcome to the Backpacking Fishers podcast, brought to you by the go-to quilt by most thru hikers, Enlightened Equipment. Lighten your load at enlightenedequipment.com. With me today is a man who still thinks handicap spots don't count on Saturdays. Ben McAuliffe. What's going on?
I didn't get that. It's going good. Back to the poison ivy or poison oak situation. So, yeah,
it's going good because you have poison oak?
No, it's going good. We're just back to the poison oak. It's just You'll see me itching on YouTube occasionally. So, yeah.
Do you have poison oak on your face?
Yeah, it's behind my ear. I got a small spot behind the ear. I don't know how I got it, but a couple other spots on the hands, but. Yeah.
Okay, this is an interesting conversation.
I know. We lost all our listeners. Let's start over.
Just want to brag about it a little bit.
Just brag. I never know what to say when you intro me.
Like, you don't know how to answer the question, how's it going?
Yeah, I'm like, I got to bring something. What do I bring? It was either that or my Starbucks restroom encounter, so.
What's your Starbucks restroom encounter?
Oh, it was just like, the restroom was destroyed, and I'm like, how do people just leave it like that? And it was a hiker.
Wait. You've never been to a public restroom where it's destroyed?
Well, not a Starbucks, because I think they're kind of hoity-toity,
Okay.
Obviously, like McDonald's, you expect it a little bit more, but yeah, it was the first one. But I think a hiker came out of there from the PCT, so
right.
It might have been the first time they went in like a couple weeks. So
McDonald's is like the anomaly for fast food places, right? Like if you talk to people, your friends, family, you're like, hey, do you guys ever eat at McDonald's? They'd be like, no, McDonald's? Who eats there? But they're raking in money, so obviously somebody is. Yeah. It's probably them because they're just not admitting it, right?
You just got to go to their car, look under their seats where all the wrappers are, like my car, and you'll see it.
Speaking of food, we got awesome backpacking snacks that you've never heard of, or we're hoping to introduce you to ones you've never heard of before. And so we brought on somebody who goes by the name Fat Man Little Trail, who is a hiker, and he's got all sorts of information and just a fun personality.
Yeah.
So he's gonna share his ideas along with some other thoughts about hiking. So that's coming up, and then we've also I think we should share some of our own snack ideas. You got a snack that you think people haven't either heard of or commonly use?
Maybe. I mean, I feel like I eat more I eat like a 5-year-old. Anytime I go to a restaurant, I get the chicken strips with fries because you can't go wrong. Right. So probably mine are like, everyone's like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's normal. So we'll see.
All right. Well, we'll find out. So, all right. So we got that, and let's get to it. We got Fat Man Little Trail right now. With us today is a podcaster, an Instagram model, a blogger, a TV personality, Greg Sakowicz, a.k.a. Fat Man Little Trail. How's it going today, sir?
It's going good. I like that you called me a Instagram model because, it really keys on my good looks there.
Anybody who's got a big Instagram following, isn't that what you call yourself?
I'd like super famous internet celebrity I like to go with every once in a while. No,
That's fair.
Everybody's jumping to our YouTube channel right now to see what he looks like.
Yeah.
Exactly. Creator and influencer. I hate all those words. So I came up with a new one like a week ago. I called myself an inspirer. Okay, I just go up there and tell stories and say, hey, look, I'm fat and I can hike and you can too, try to get people outdoors.
Nice.
I mean, is that working? Are people like, well, you truly have inspired me. I was sitting on the couch and now look at me. Here I am.
So I do. I get probably like an email every couple of weeks where somebody's like, I never thought I'd be able to get out and enjoy nature anymore. And then I watched what you're doing and I go out and I started hiking and, I love it. And that's like the only thing of everything I do. Like that's what makes me feel the best
that's awesome.
Hearing that. Yeah.
We had a guy on the Rev. And he hiked 3 times up a mountain before he realized he was having a heart attack.
How does that relate?
Well, it just made me think. Like he's like, I'm encouraging people to go outside, and we're like, we had a old guy on that was doing the same thing, and then he was telling a story where he had a heart attack.
So you're saying
going up.
I realized it in the parking lot. Like I know. I just keep going.
You can tell right away. You don't have to hike up a mountain to figure that out.
Exactly.
Where did Fat Man Little Trail come from?
So I started out. I never hiked before 2020. Okay. So I lived downtown Denver, tiny little apartment. And I loved living here because I can walk to everything. I can walk to ball games. I can walk to the restaurants and do everything. I walk to work and all that. And it was great. And then the pandemic shut everything down. And now I'm just in a tiny apartment. And you can't go anywhere. The only thing in Colorado that was open were the trails. So I was like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. I've lived in Colorado for 8, 9, 10 years, something like that. and I'd never really gone hiking or done anything in the mountains. So I was like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. And I went out and I started hiking. I was like, this is fun. So I go to, it was like my second trail ever. And I'm walking up this thing and it's like nothing. It's a nothing trail, and I'm struggling. I'm breathing. I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to, this is the end of me. Still having a good time, but I'm like, I think this is it. So I sit down on like a log or a rock or something like that. And these two little kids, probably like 6 and 8 years old, are wearing Crocs and drinking Capri Suns. And they come skipping up this trail that I thought was the hardest trail in the history of mankind. Right. And these kids just come skipping up like it's nothing, just, Colorado native kids that are, they're kids. So they have endless energy. And I'm just like, and they're just flying up this trail. And I thought to myself, man, I am just a fat man on this little trail. And I came home and I texted my cousin, who's like a huge supporter of mine. I texted her and I was like, what do you think of this as a name? And she goes, that's amazing. You need to start a website right now. And that day I went and started a website called Fat Man Little Trail. So
it's taken off, man.
It's so good. Yeah, I can't stand those kids that are in shape. Like we go on hikes and I bring my 10-year-old son and he just runs up like these trails that we're just sucking air in, and it's like,
and they don't even think about it, they're just like, okay, can we go play, Nintendo again? It's like this is literally like I'm fighting for my life back there. You just ran up this thing because you want to get back on your Switch, man. You're killing me. Happens every time.
Yeah. So was that the oddest encounter or experience on the trail, or do you have a different one?
Oh, I've had a lot of, I don't know if they're weird or odd or anything. I've had a couple, like this one lady, she was hiking and she like started walking off the trail down a hill and like was about to fall down like, a 45-degree incline hill. And I went over and I like grabbed her and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm legally blind. And my kids left me and my husband didn't want to hike anymore. So I just thought I'd walk around. And I'm like, you're literally about to fall off a hill, So I brought her back and I walked her back, and everything was safe. But I was like, for somebody to be legally blind and just come out here on this ledge and start walking was odd to me. I ran into
wait. Did she hold your arm? Were you like leading her down the trail? She's like grasping your arm?
Yeah. Well, when I finally caught up to her, because she was literally like walking down the side of this cliff and she'd left the trail, and I felt horrible. So I went and I grabbed her and I let her. I think she just walked behind me and kind of had her hand on my backpack because it was a single file trail that we had to walk.
Okay.
So I got her back up, into safety, and then, was just like, good for you for getting out here and like trying this. But
yeah,
it also terrified me. And I'd only been hiking for like 6 months at that point, and I'm like,
okay,
I'm not prepared for this. I need an adult. That worked out. I ran into a guy who'd flipped his bike and all of his other biking friends had left him. And like, I had to provide first aid, and the guy had, ended up, really injured. Actually, we had to call an ambulance for him and all this stuff. So that was interesting. And then I think kind of one of my favorites for you people who are watching on YouTube, there's a picture back here of this giant mountain goat. And I literally like came up this cliff, hiked up this little cliff and stepped up, and there was this mountain goat like 6 feet away from me, just chawing on some grass. And he looked at me and I looked at him and I was like, nope. And I just like backed up my way down. And he was like, that guy's got snacks. Look at it. He's like, Tubby's got snacks. I know I'm going to chase after him. So the mountain goat just kept walking after me for a little bit, trying to get some snacks out of me. But
what trails are you walking?
I mean, it was outside of Breckenridge, Colorado. And it was,
Wow,
that's great.
But it was one of the first ones I'd seen that we're coming on winter, so it had its full like winter white coat on. Usually in the summer they they have a really small coat and they're tiny, but then when they have these big, they look like those things from Star Wars that the Ewoks we're traveling on. They've got these big long hairy woolly mammoth style coats, and it was just shocking to come out of the come right above this cliff and see that, and it's like, what are you doing up here? But
yeah. Now, but the first two examples you had were basically like you're kind of like a friend to the friendless. Like they were abandoned people on the trail that shouldn't have been abandoned. Did you do any like follow-up scolding to any of those folks that were like, you don't leave them?
No, I mean, like everybody does their own thing, right? Like the biker, he was at the end of the peloton. Is that what they call? I'm not a biker, but like he was at the end of his group, and everybody else had like gone down the hill, and he'd flipped, and like he was the last rider, and he flipped, and nobody noticed, so they just kept going. And they came up like wondering where he was, and at that point, I like took one guy's jacket off and like tied it around his neck and made it a sling. Like, I'm not using my jacket. So your friends are getting their jackets used for this and all that. So I don't know. I think I hike so slowly that I just run into people, you know?
Yeah. You have these encounters, which is part of the fun.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
One of the things that makes, I think, you so approachable and then your content so approachable is you got all these tips to get folks out there. You have, like just beginner hiker tips or just all sorts of good things accessible on your website and some fun things on your Instagram. One thing that, you had a little bit of, but I wanted to kind of tap into your experience was we like talking about food on this podcast, and we're always looking for different snack ideas. So we want to know what your best awesome trail snacks are. Maybe some that maybe we haven't even heard of before. So
you bring the fat guy out and you want to talk about snacks, huh? Well, you're in luck because I do love snacks myself. So I got to throw a little bit of love to. I met these people at a trade show like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's one of my favorite trail snacks, and not many people know about it. It's called Nakey butter. So it comes in these little tubes, and it's peanut butter. Oops, sorry, hit my mic. It comes in these little tubes, and it's peanut butter. And it's infused with like mushrooms and some other stuff that like give it added protein. So it's like a tube that's like 3 ounces and it's like 18 grams of protein. And they've got like a chocolate one, and then they've got like a maple and sunflower one, and they're just amazing. You throw them in your bag and you just suck on them, and you just pull out, like I forgot what it is, maybe 4 or 5 ounces of peanut butter, and it's just full of protein, and it's just like the perfect regenerating snack. Like boom, as soon as you eat it.
Wait. So just to clarify, peanut butter mixed with mushrooms, you said?
Well, they infuse it with something, and I'm not.
Some are that way.
I'm not a chef or a scientist, and I can tell you that whatever it is, it tastes delicious, and it's got like twice the protein as a regular peanut butter snack.
Okay.
So and I believe it was protein, and there's something in the mushroom that makes your brain work better. I don't know. I mean, that's like the fancy organic stuff that they are all pitching on their labels. But I'll tell you this: it tastes amazing, and it's like an instant energy boost. So, Nakey butter is top of my list on those snacks.
Butter. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. That's number one. I have not had that. So far, batting 1,000 here.
And so here is, I don't know if it's like a secret brand, but I used to eat like all those energy bars and all those like snack bars that everybody loves. And I realized they're really expensive and they're kind of a waste. So now my secret is this: you get like pretzels, you get a little thing of peanut butter, and then you get gummy bears, because the pretzels are going to give you your carbs. The peanut butter is going to give you your protein. And then the gummy bears are going to give you that little burst of sugar that you need just to, get you over that hump or anything like that. And everybody else is like spending, this bar here is $8 or whatever. And you get the same stuff, just make it your, kind of bring your own thing, and you can bring a whole lot more of that than you can like these little bars that usually are kind of dry. And, by the time you're hiking, you want something. The gummy bears are perfect. They're a little, sugary and all that stuff, which is kind of amazing. So that's my second tip.
That's like a budget hack, basically, right? Okay.
And who doesn't love gummy bears? Like, it's like the best trail snack, except they melt together, and then you have to eat like 10 at a time, and it's not your fault. It's because they melted. Totally not.
Have you guys ever had the chocolate covered gummy bears?
No.
Yeah, what? Like they're now available, at least locally here. They're available in like regular grocery stores. It's usually in the snack section, like the specialty. I don't know, like the nuts and the fancy chocolate covered nut section. You'll see chocolate covered gummy bears. I don't know if that's great for the trail, but they taste really good. Just throwing it out there.
Should be sugar, right?
Yeah, I mean,
sugar gives you that quick. Yeah,
that's the energy that you're looking for, And I mean, like, obviously, calories don't count on a trail, so the whole point is to get as many calories in as you can, just so you have all of that energy to keep hiking.
Okay. I thought you were just going to leave it at that, full stop. Just get as many calories as you can. That's all.
Exactly.
Carl's been known to like put a suitcase of White Castle burgers into his pack and just have that for the whole trail. So it's all good.
Suitcase of them for the trail. That's good.
Well, I mean, you guys, the burrito is a big one too, because you have to have a trail burrito. I mean, what's the point of climbing to the top of a mountain if you're not going to eat a burrito at the top, right? Ooh. I mean,
so you pack a burrito for the top of the mountain.
Sometimes. I mean, a lot of times I don't make it to the top of the mountain, but I still have a burrito. So it's still a good day. Like, it doesn't, at that point, I mean, it doesn't really matter how far you go because you got a burrito with you.
Sometimes you're crying while you eat it because you didn't make it, and sometimes it's rejoicing. So.
Like, why do I get out of the car? I have a burrito already. I don't need to go out of the car to eat the
tears
burrito.
are mostly of joy at that point.
Yeah. Do you bring like one for victory, like a Chipotle burrito, and then you got like the Taco Bell burrito for like if you don't make it?
All burritos are victory burritos. I mean, gosh, you can't go wrong with a burrito. But I'm actually like a big thing for me is on my website. I love the post hike meal. So when it comes to snacks, like I'll eat on the trail, but I love to go have that really great lunch right after I hike. And what I do on the website is I pair every hike that I review with a locally owned restaurant, because my whole philosophy is if you're going to be out in, some small area of town or of the state, to recreate and stuff like that, you should go in and kind of support that local economy of that small area of the state. And like these small towns have some of the best people and some of the best food you'll ever have. My rule is if it says grandma, diner, or cafe on it, I'm going. Because that's the best food, and usually it's the best. You end up talking to the local people, and they tell you about trails you've never heard of and aren't on maps, and it's just one of the best experiences. So, along with the snacks, always have that post hike meal planned out.
So, are you kind of like the diners, drive-ins, and dives for hiking then?
I hope to be, yeah. And I'm gonna pitch that to the Discovery Channel before this even makes air.
I just burned a couple thousand calories, so I'm gonna go spend them over here on this deep fried burger that has in between the whatever the donut buns or whatever.
Well, that started the whole thing with, because I started hiking and started Fat Man Little Trail during the pandemic, and just to let people know what was still open, and then it did so well that I was like, okay, now, and I love supporting like the small businesses and the small people that are trying to get by, and roadside little stands, or like I said, the cafes in a small town. Like those are the places it's like you're going to meet the best people. You're going to have, sure, it's a triple bacon cheeseburger, but it's delicious. I don't know if you notice, I'm not into the hiking thing, to be in perfect shape. I'm into it for the experiences. And the cafe is part of that experience.
Yeah.
Justify the calories. Okay.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. So yeah, so you got, I think you came up with like 4 or 5 those are your secret snack tips that motivate you to get to the top of the mountain, or not.
Those are my tips. Absolutely.
We're not.
Another good tip is if you buy your clothes from Cool, they usually like throw in like their little Cool chocolate or their Cool honey crisps. So like, those honey stingers, like Cool makes their own version of it. So it's like,
really?
That's like bonus snacks right there. So it depends on, I don't know. It doesn't come in every bag I get from them, but usually when I order stuff, it's probably after I hit a certain amount of dollars, where they throw in either chocolate or these little honey wafers, and both fantastic.
I don't know why more companies don't do stuff like that. So I ordered, I don't know. So it was from Z Packs. I ordered a pack for a trip, and they did this thing where it was like, I get that it's a cottage brand, but they waited a week to tell me that they're not going to be able to ship for another week. And I was like, okay, I don't know why you waited so long. Like, I get if stuff's on back order, but is there anything you can put in the box to kind of sweeten the deal? Like, if they threw me a couple of, like little candy kind of things, like I would have been, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, it's kind of like the hotel. They put the little, chocolate on the pillow at the end. It's just kind of service right there.
Right.
It's a little bonus service.
Bonus for sure. For those that are just getting started, you put out a lot of articles on various topics. Which you already mentioned the food stuff, but which other topics seem to be getting the most interest or clicks?
So yeah, on my website I have a whole getting started guide, is what I call it, and I interview people from brands. I interviewed Keen for shoes and Osprey for backpacks, some water safety, I physical therapists,
you got a nutritionist on there,
on exercise nutritionists for different ways to get started for people that are going, couch to trail type of situation. The one that I think I get the most from is like how to pack a backpack. And from Osprey, when I interviewed them, that probably gets the most clicks, is people curious on, what all to bring. Because if you're just telling some, especially somebody who lives in like Colorado or Utah or Washington or Oregon, where they're going to like go hike in a mountain, and you say, just go hike. Well, what do I bring? Do I need to have 7 pairs of socks? Do I need to bring bear spray? Do I need to bring snacks? Obviously, but like they don't, the first time you go, and I remember my first pack, I had like probably weighed 50 pounds to go do a day hike because I didn't know. And you just start throwing everything in there, and then you bury stuff and stuff. It's can be intimidating. It's not, when you think about it in the grand scheme of it, it's like you're just going out hiking. But, people are really, it's nerve-wracking for some people to go out, especially if they're hiking solo for the first time. So I think that gave people a little bit more confidence in going out, knowing that they packed the right things, they packed their pack the right way, so the weight would be okay and things like that. So that's definitely been one of my top guides that's been clicked on.
So on your, I think it was I saw on your Instagram, you recently went on a hiking trip on the Oregon coast, and you got a chance to kind of go to one of the Goonie spots where I think it was near where the One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship was, or like where he was using the doubloon to kind of measure the rocks and stuff. So I'm assuming you're a Goonies fan.
I mean,
am I correct?
Child of the 80s, I have to be, right?
Yeah. Early this year, I think it was in February, they announced they were working on a sequel.
I heard this.
Do you have any ideas or suggestions about what the storyline could be?
I'd kind of like to see all of them grown up. Like we kind of see them all in movies now, and Data just came back and he's in everything right now, and right. I'd kind of like to see, Sean Astin is grown up now and Josh Brolin is grown up now. So put them all in there and have them all be like the old people in there, have a new generation of kids that are coming in, and then have them try to go through those caves as, 45-year-olds, 50-year-old guys. And
the same caves.
Same caves, like backache and, your knee hurts. And, again, like we said earlier, like the kids can run through it like it's nothing, but now you're doing it and you're like, I think that would be fun just to watch them struggle.
Okay. The storyline would have to be like we just found out that One-Eyed Willie actually buried some of his treasure back in the caves, so we got to go back there for some reason, right? There'd have to be
I love it, yeah. Let's go with it.
Would you have the Fratellis? Would that be part of the story?
I think like the Fratelli's grandkids would be like they're trying to reopen the restaurant. But I think as a nice little twist, they would be nice this time. They would be helping the kid. They would
be like a good restaurant.
They would pack them a burrito to go on the caves. See how I bring that all full circle?
All right. We have something called a lightning round where you've got 1 minute to answer as many questions as you can. Most folks are able to answer 7 or 8, so it's your job to try and beat that. And the timer starts once Ben asks his first question.
What's the record?
Oh, boy.
The record, wasn't it 13 from last season?
Yeah, that was last season, though. It's a new season.
Well, yeah, this season, I don't think it was beating 8. Everybody tends to get like 8 exactly.
All right, we're shooting for 14 either way.
Or people get competitive and then they feel like they have to explain one of the answers. And so don't fall into that trap. It's a booby trap. Don't do it. Okay.
Oh, don't give them tips. Don't give them tips.
Okay, go for it, Ben.
Oh, man, you're helping them out already. A chef wears a hat with 100 folds because you can make eggs 100 ways. Name 3 ways to make an egg.
Scrambled, fried, over easy.
One place you'd hike over and over again.
Staunton State Park.
If you had to pick one to take on the trail, Bigfoot, a 10-pound weight, or Carl?
Bigfoot.
Yes. A tip.
Great selfies.
A tip for a beginner hiker you haven't shared yet.
Bring plenty of water.
Ooh, what's your favorite water brand?
Water.
The most plausible.
Anything from a tap.
The most plausible conspiracy theory.
That I'm 6'5". It's not true.
Do you use trekking poles? If not, what's an occasion where you would use them?
I always use one trekking pole because I have a bad shoulder that I don't trust, so I only use one.
All right. A documentary show or series you've watched.
Oh, Ken Burns, baseball.
All right, and time.
That's 8.
That was it.
That's it.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you got 8. You hit the average.
I feel like you guys don't ask the questions quick enough. I could have done it.
You fell victim to the classic blunder we literally just warned you about. You started to explain it.
Yeah.
So you explained like 2 or 3 of your answers.
You were quick right away. I was nervous because I was like thinking I had to come up with more questions.
You had me with 100 folds. I was like, I don't need what? Like math again. I'm out. I told you I don't do math.
He thought I was gonna be like, name all 100 ways to make an egg.
Yeah, Ben's question was name 3 ways to name an egg, but I'm gonna give you a paragraph full of information prior to the question.
Right. That was like,
but we didn't start the timer until after he asked that.
I was asked a long question the first one.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It's like the ACTs where they just keep asking like this 4-hour question, and it's like, "What's the color red?" I'm like, what? Thank you. Just put that in the beginning.
Yeah. Oh well, Carl. So Carl was asking me what stands out. What question stood out to you? Let's trade it right now.
Well, I definitely enjoyed his answer for what's the best water.
I was asking
brand.
Greg. I was asking Greg what.
Oh, you're asking Greg.
Favorite.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good. We'll talk to the water one.
So you're asking Greg what answer stands out about your answers?
Yeah. What question?
All of my answers were amazing, but I think the question, the question of what tip to give a beginning hiker, I think we could do more on that. That shouldn't be rapid fire. That should just be a regular question. Because I was like, there's so many tips to give people, and then was like, but I got to break the record. So I want to bring water. It's important.
That's fair.
Yeah.
When we're 400 episodes into our podcast, we've probably hit that topic enough times where we're ready for it to be rapid fire.
Absolutely.
Right.
Just get over it. Come on.
Yeah. We told this stuff to you already. Just, get out there.
Yeah. All right, Carl, what stood out? The water
so
one?
I liked your answer for water. Your favorite water brand was just water or water from the tap. I would say maybe one of the most disappointing answers that we've ever had on the show was the documentary series Ken Burns.
I don't watch a lot of documentaries, to be honest with you. I'm more of a basically I just watch Peaky Blinders over and over again. I like the scripted stuff, but I'm so busy I don't have time to watch TV at all. Really, I watch baseball games every night. That's about it.
Every night.
Ben, have you watched the Ken Burns documentary, Ben?
No, I'm more of Morgan Freeman. I like his voice; it's soothing. So
yeah, Ken Burns does a really good job gathering together primary sources. From a historian perspective, I think it's really impressive. But his execution is if you want to fall asleep, that's what you watch.
That's it, yeah.
So
and they're 20 hours long, and it's it takes 7 minutes to talk about this is a baseball. It has this many stitches, and it's made of leather. With a bunch of black and white videos that are rolling slowly across the screen.
As a history teacher, I showed part of a Ken Burns video. This is probably more than a decade ago. And then I feel like I had to apologize to my students. I'm so sorry that you watched 5 minutes of that video because they were just asleep.
What's happening?
But as a history teacher, you could just run Civil War and cover your entire semester. You don't have to come up with a single plan at that point. You can just be like, here, kids, watch this. We're done.
Don't give away my secrets, please.
Yeah. I did have one question that didn't make it. What's your pack weight?
Oh, I have no idea. It's insanely heavy compared to what it should be because I have GoPros with me and cameras and selfie sticks and all that stuff. So it probably weighs 20, 25 pounds.
All right. So what can we look forward to on the Fat Man Little Troll website, Instagram, just anything you got coming up?
So on the website, I did that trip. I went to California, Idaho, and Oregon. So first time in California, Oregon beaches and Crater Lake. So I'll be writing about that stuff coming up. As far as on the Instagram, it's just I turn in a new piece of content every day. So some of them are funny. Some of them are, well, I hope they're funny at least. And I just try to bring people out to nature. So it's different every day. So make sure you're checking every day on the Instagram. And that's what's coming up.
Okay. Well, we're going to have that linked in our show description. And thanks for all you do to inspire new hikers to get out on the trail and get people off the couch.
So awesome.
We really appreciate it. And we're rooting for you. And thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, my friend. So just loved chatting with that guy. I met him at one of the media shows earlier this year, and I just thought this is gonna be a good fit for our show. He's just a fun dude. So takeaways, what you got?
Yeah, he was definitely entertaining. I liked hearing, he barely made it out the first time, and I think that really resonated because that's with any of us. We're all gonna struggle. There's a couple trails that me and my buddies do pretty frequently. At least once a week, we're out on a couple trails. And sometimes I can barely make it up. We were shedding our weight and just wound up free hiking by the end of the trail. And people behind us were like, we were wondering what was going on because we found your backpacks and your web gears and your shoes. And, we're just taking everything off to let it. So
but you're free hiking. So you left your gear on the trail? What's going on?
We did because it's a straight back up and down. Okay. And we were pretty beat. So it's just weird how some you can do the trails so many times, and sometimes you can do it in 24 minutes, and then other times it took us 42 minutes. Same gear, everything. So it's
That is very specific. So it sounds like you're timing yourself.
We
when you're doing
do.
these trails.
Yeah. We try to, because we always try to do it under 30 minutes is our goal. But
okay.
I don't know. It's always good. So I mean, the biggest thing is just to show up, right? Like
yeah.
you said.
Well, and it's funny because you never know. Yeah, like and looking at people, he was kind of joking about the kids like hopping on the trail with the Crocs. You just never know who's out there beginning, who's finding it easy, who's having a hard time. He mentioned the Crocs on the trail. We already had our episode. We shared about the 10-day collegiate peak loop trip, and so it's a loop. So we encountered somebody who was doing the loop the opposite direction, and the lady was like, "Yeah, my shoes were kind of tearing up my feet, so I decided to wear Crocs." And she had gaiters attached to her Crocs. Do you see the issue with that? Do you see the problem with that?
Yeah, aren't the Crocs like kind of open, right?
Yeah,
and
it's
the
like
gaiters
I don't
protected?
want dirt to get in my shoes, but I'm
Oh
wearing
my gosh.
shoes with holes in them.
I always find it's interesting that dirt just gets in everything. Like you can think your shoe doesn't, and then you take your socks off, and your feet are just black too.
It goes through the socks. Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. It just always kind of mystifies me.
Let's be honest. You kind of like that. You kind of like digging that dirt out.
Yeah, when you're in the shower and it's all rinsing off, you're like, I hiked today.
Anyway, so one of the guys in our group is like, "Did you see that girl with the Crocs and the the gaiters?" Like, I was like, "Yeah, like they're doing the loop too, so we're gonna see them on the backside." He's like, "We're not seeing them on the backside." Like, why? You can't, like, somebody who's wearing Crocs with gaiters. He's like, "You can't. They're not gonna make it." I was like, "Why not?" And then he's just like, "Because that's like they just don't know what they're doing." And so anyway, so about like 4 or 5 days later, we came across them and they were finishing the loop, like totally made it.
Wow.
Just was just super weird foot setup, and that's fine. But yeah, just everybody's going at their own pace and doing their own thing, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they were comfortable, obviously, because the Crocs were comfortable for them and they finished. So
right. So shame on you if you're telling people they can't do it, because maybe they can.
I would think blisters would come into play with the Crocs, but
yeah, I don't know how long she wore them for. She said for the day, but anyway. Yeah. Okay, so other takeaways. He definitely provided some snack ideas I hadn't heard of, and then he mentioned that he just keeps it simple with like the gummy bears, pretzels, and peanut butter, and just kind of To me, like he's basically hitting like the carbs and the fat / protein. Would that be satisfying enough for you?
I don't think so. I like the sugar. Like, I think for me, like the
gummy
sugar.
bears have sugar.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like I don't necessarily go off like calories per se. I kind of plan out my meals and I hike, and sometimes I'm eating more and sometimes I'm eating less. But I haven't ran out of food. But I've been hungry on the trail. That's for sure. So
you've been hungry on the trail. All right, there you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Please subscribe for more tips about how to deal with trail hunger. All right. So, anyway, okay. So if that's not satisfying to you, what? Okay, give us a snack or something that people have not heard of, or that you don't think is a common snack on the trail. What you got?
Yeah. So I got two, and my first one would be puppy chow. Do you know what puppy chow is?
Yeah, dog food.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's very nutritious, made with cornmeal. No,
okay, what is it?
Yeah, it's Muddy Buddies is what I guess the brand name is by Chex Mix. So it's just the Chex Mix with peanut butter and chocolate, and you melt the peanut butter and chocolate together. It can get a little gooey, but it saved my life a time or two on the trail.
Okay, so that's just basically just like a bag of sugar with a little bit of chocolate and peanut butter added?
Yeah, but the Chex Mix, I mean, isn't that like, you get the corn, so you get a vegetable in there too?
Vegetable? Is eating Chex Mix like your vegetable for the day?
It's corn. It's corn Chex Mix. I told you I eat like a 5-year-old, okay?
All right. I have not had Muddy Buddies on the trail, so I'll give you that one. What else you got?
And then the other one's chocolate-covered espresso beans. I think that gives you the energy. I like coffee and, just kind of some.
I have had that one. So that one, like they have them in these little, I don't know, to-go packs, like single serving packs at Trader Joe's. So I think those, and they have them like in bins at places like Sprouts. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna go thumbs down on that one. I'm gonna say no.
I've used them on the trail, but I'm giving you a thumbs down. Yeah, okay, I see.
I've used them a bunch. I had them on my last trip. So
okay,
all right. So you went with high sugar and chocolate. I'm gonna go more with the kind of the protein. So I got this one right here.
Okay,
I'm not sure. I hadn't heard of these until somebody.
Beef?
Yeah, it's like an Epic, but it's like a meat bar.
Okay.
So it's and which sounds like a
It looks like beef. Would you call it beef jerky, or you just call it a beef bar? Why is it
it's
not
like
beef jerky?
jerky, but it's put into like an energy bar size. But then some of them they have a lot of different flavors, and some of them are Swedish, like they have a sweet flavor to them. This is like jalapeno beef. They have like a bacon one. They've got like venison and bison and all sorts of options. They're super expensive, but if you're looking for some different things, this might be an option. I thought I had a package of. I've mentioned just one time on the podcast before, and it was like as an aside. Ovation makes something called it's also like a kind of like a jerky, but it's steak and eggs. And so they've like dehydrated or freeze-dried eggs or something. So you're getting that choline and just like the health benefits of the eggs. And it's also expensive. You can buy that on Amazon. I think you can buy both these.
Is that like infused into the beef jerky type thing? Or
yeah, so you're just taking a bite. And it tastes just like jerky, but it's called steak and eggs because you're getting both. So
that one, I think I would try that one, depending on the price point. If it's a couple $100 bucks, I probably won't. But
and it's like no sugar. That one's on the healthier side for sure.
Definitely give that one a try.
And then just to remind everybody, Derek actually shared one on a previous episode earlier this season where he shared pretzel dust. You can just put it in your pocket and grind it up and then just feed yourself.
Grind it? It's already grinded up.
I think it gets more ground up in your pocket.
So how many bags of pretzels do you buy before you get the dust at the bottom?
I think it's just one bag, and then by the time you put it in your pocket, it just gets crunched around. So I don't know. But
I see that. Salt, the salt would help a lot too. So I like that one.
Just to clarify, it's not in a Ziploc bag. It's directly in the pocket.
Yeah, but you get leaves, some dirt in there, some fiber.
There's all sorts
all
of
good.
gunk.
Yeah,
for sure.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully there was at least one takeaway for you in this episode. Thank you so much to Fat Man Little Trail for joining the show. Only tidbit I have is pretty please leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. We've got better access to Spotify now. We didn't have access to kind of read the comments and stuff, but we'll check reviews there as well. But if you leave a 5-star review, we'll send you something and we'll read it on the show. So that's all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, just remember, if you're not gaining weight on the trail, you're not eating food.
Have a good week and God bless everybody.
I want to fly.
Yo, B&B, it's Rock. Quick update on Jennifer. First, she is out of the hospital and out of the rehabilitation facility. She had her last surgical procedure, about a week and a half ago, and she is, again, fully at home. She's at her parents' during the week and with me and the boys on weekends. Thanks for all the prayers. For those of you who I know what's going on with you, trying to remember to be faithful to pray for you guys. God bless you for it, and praise God that she is now fully out of the hospital and just on a long, long road to recovery, but on that road. Then second, got 2 things for you. 1, favorite snack. 2, don't listen to music on the trail, but if you do, segment, here we go. Favorite snack. Now that I'm on a Mediterranean diet due to having high LDL cholesterol and a high lipoprotein A count. By the way, people who are going to get your physicals, go check those out. Those are a really bad combination. They can clog your arteries almost overnight. But hey, there's ways to do it. There's a lot of good things. So I'm going to give you some good stuff for both the music and the snack from California. Catalina Crunch. Hey, the B&B just went to the Catalina Islands, or Catalina Island. Catalina Islands. What am I saying? Catalina Island just a little while ago, and there's Catalina Crunch. It looks like Golden Grams, but mix that in with a bunch of fruit, dried fruits like blueberries and cranberries and stuff like that, and you've got yourself an awesome trail snack. I eat it when I go running right now. Then, before I had to go on this diet, my favorite trail snack would have been a huge block of Tillamook cheese and Columbus dry salami, or a bunch of bread or a bunch of tortillas, a bunch of peanut butter and a bunch of honey, and then just throw it all in your mouth. Right now, don't listen to music on the trail, but if you do, listen to the OC Supertones. They were a Christian ska punk band from the 90s to 2017, and I'm giving them a shout out for their album Chase the Sun, but a shout out for another song since we're talking about stuff from California, and the song is called It's a Good Day to Be from California from their 2012 album. I forget the name of it off the top of my head. It's a good day to be from California, gives you a little bit of taste of the punk, but mainly surf rock and ska. God bless everybody and hike on.